Okay, so we are back. Jon Kristian will come in about 15 minutes or something, like 10 to 15 minutes. In the meanwhile, we're checking this position. I thought that queen b3 was a bit strange, because in this position, if you play queen b1, for example, black will still face the problem of where to place this bishop. The f5 square is taken away. So queen b3, but then bishop f5 I think is very strong. Now you threatens to play, the bishop to c2. So and then this queen will be in danger. So yeah. And I don't know how to protect against that, because it's frankly speaking, it's not so easy. Maybe you simply have to go back like this, queen d1 or something like that. And now black will have a decent game. Not either you choose like c6 or something like that, just to to have this. And what has white done with his queen? Might do d5 will come, so no problem at all for black suddenly. So the more I look at it, queen b3, I think that was a mistake. One problem, of course, if you play with white here, is to admit that you made a mistake, because the danger is that you try to do something else. You do not want to play back your queen one more time, to d1, and just to say that, oh, that was a really bad move. So you try to do something else, and then maybe it's even worse, if you play like knight e1 to protect against that. It looks so ugly to play back your knight, and maybe, well, I don't know, maybe queen d7 to go for start to look for an attack over here, something like that. Yeah, I wouldn't like that. To go for this knight e1, it looks so strange. So I think queen d1 is actually the move to play, but Tor Fredrik needs to face that he actually made a mistake. So, and maybe it's even, is it an immediate draw here, maybe like this, if you want? Rook c2, knight c2, like maybe you can play knight h4. I don't know if that's possible. You can play this, then this is not a draw immediately, because if you take here, you take on f5, so that was not a good move. I do something else. Okay. Let's see. Later on, we have this position on the board. Let's go back. Okay, so I just want to take a look at the top boards again. We have this position now, as you saw here. He went back, and what black is doing now is look at this. He has just given white everything in a sense, but on the other hand, and this seems to be a little bit the style of Sonis, is to wait, have a decent solid position. Maybe you are a little bit worse due to the less space in the position, but he handles the different aspects of it. He is ready to take his chance when it comes. So it might not be so much as you think when you glance at the position, because how to continue here, now you do not have the white bishop that sometimes can be very strong if you have a bishop on d3 or something like that, and c6, and this pawn can hang. Sometimes you want to take here to take on d6, he take d6, and then rook c1 and go for the c file. That's normal. But if you do that, you open up the position a little bit, and these bishops are ready to go if you have your chance. And then, of course, always the black move to have counterplay will be f5, and that's why we have to see if it is castle short side that white wants to play or not. Or is it g4 that sometimes is the move to play? But now with c5 and so, it can be dangerous to go for g4, because then sometimes black will just play c6, break up the center, and then go for a counterattack in the center. So, okay. So, we have some... okay, and we take a quick glance. We had this very critical moment. The question was if Elam was ready to go for a sacrifice. No, he played, okay, rook c1. the question was if Elham was ready to go for a sacrifice of the c-pawn, either with bishop e6, knight bd7, or like in our game, knight to a6, e3, and c5. And because now, of course, white can take on a6 or c5. He took on c5. Now, if you take with the knight, white will always be slightly better due to this pawn on d5 and the 3 pawn islands and a little bit, strong square on d4 for this knight here. So Elham took b takes c5. I think that's logical. And now, if you take here, here, and here, you have this position. And I would be a little bit worried about this position if I was white, because even though you have an extra pawn, your king is stuck in the center, and maybe something like this move, queen b7, ready to go for the b2 pawn. You are ready to go to rook c8. This looks very, very dangerous. I don't think this is a wise choice. So probably here, instead, what white should do is just to develop the bishop and then try to attack these 2 pawns. It's the so-called hanging pawns in the center that you can try to undermine. And if black needs to play c4, for example, then it will be real weaknesses, and the pawns will be on the same color as their own bishop, and then white can start to play bishop b2, castling, 1 rook to d1, put pressure on d5 and so on. Let's see. Yeah, just 2 seconds. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So let's see here what we got. Just need to find a good position for myself. Okay, so what have we got here? So I believe bishop e2 is the best move, just to move out, castling, and then you can think about how to go for this. But then black will, try to do something like maybe bishop b7, put a rook on c8, and so on. But white will have a move like queen a4 in the end, and so on, after castling. So maybe still there are chances for white. Though black can also sometimes go for a sacrifice on d4. But let's see that. Is that b takes c4? I believed in this move. I mean, even this move might be interesting to play d4. I don't know. Can you do that? Because if you take here, take on d4, I mean, you have a rook on e8 like this. Now this is quite dangerous, actually. One trick is, of course, if you go like this, take, and you go for try to win the queen, because you have this. There is this possible to guard it like this. So this is not a tactical trick to use. So d4 is dangerous in this position. Here you really need to find something good for white, I believe. Because I don't think you can take on d4. Rook e8 is very, very dangerous then. And don't forget, look at the games of Elham that he played, where he was so active, playing so strong tactical chess. This is in line with that. I would be worried, So, very interesting moment of the game. I think that he really needs to think here, Blue Burger, and see if he is strong enough to guide himself through all these mysteries in this position. But bishop e2 must be the best move, I'm sure. Okay, we also have some other games I would like to have a little bit of a closer look at. And that is actually, we have this game. We have a game between Axel Falkevall and Edvin Trost. And why do I want to have a special look at this? because these are two of the most prominent Swedish players. We have Edvin, who is the highest rated player under 16, I believe. And Axel is also 1 or 2 years older. I forgot a bit if it is like that. But I think so. He's 1 year older, if I remember correctly. And also a very, very strong player. And it will be great to see when they challenge each other. And we have, in this Swedish battle, we have a classical King's Indian, but with h3 in this position. And this is becoming quite popular. We saw it earlier on in this tournament as well. The main lines is normally knight f3 and bishop e2, and you have to know tons of theory to understand what to do and so on. 2 seconds, I just check one thing here, like that. Okay, that's good. So we have here. So okay, and then castling up to h, and the idea with h3 is that now you have the possibility to put your bishop on e3. But also you take away the possibilities, bishop g4 and so on. If you put the bishop on e3 earlier on, then h3, then knight g4 might come. So quite often this is transposing into the Benoni structure or other lines as well. So castling, bishop e3, and now black has got this choice on how to continue. He played knight to c6. Okay, that's quite okay, I think. The idea is, of course, to play e5. Normally, you have the choice of playing c5 or e5 when we have this type of structure. And with knight to c6, there is no doubt that it's e5 that is the move to play. So, knight f3 came, e5, d5. This is, I must say here. Here, of course, you also have the idea, is this, I don't know, is this correct? I don't know this position so well, but there is also, of course, the possibility to play d5 here before e5 to have this kind of structure. I cannot say, I'm not an expert in the line, but I think this is also a possible choice. And the question is if it should be like knight e5 or where to put the knight. Where should it be, go back even to b8 sometimes could be the choice. I think after knight f3, e5 is okay. So I probably would have personally gone for d5. But, this is the type of structure you get. And also this is the type of challenges you have when you play black and white in this position, is when you should push this d pawn forward. Should it be before or after e5, or should you simply wait? So knight f3, e5, d5, and knight d4. Okay, that was a cool move. I'm not sure that he was into that, Axel, because that's a really tough move. Because if you play, the normally is that you go to e7 in this position with the idea to move away this knight on f6 and then go for f5. But here we'll see. Okay, just follow up like this, take f5, and we have this position. And I cannot say what this is position like. I think black must be okay, but we'll see. Okay, so I hope now that we have Jon Kristian coming in. And so from Offerspill, so we'll see if he's joining in right now. And here we go.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Hello, Jon Kristian. I just want to show you here, if you could join in. Can you see me? No, I cannot see you yet. You need to switch on your camera. There you are. Okay, here we have Jon Kristian. Hello, Jon Kristian. I just fixed the outfit. Because now we have one problem here. We have, you should know that your name right now, I just need to change it a bit to Jon Kristian Haarr, because now it says Judit Polgar, and that is wrong, I guess.
I see.
Okay, so we do it like that. That is better, I guess. That is better. So, Jon Kristian, how are you?
I am good, ready to look at
Ready to eat breakfast, I can see.
Come again?
You're having some breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so Jon Kristian, just 2 seconds and we'll see if everything is in line. Is everything okay? Yeah?
I can't see you.
No, I have fixed it.
Am I supposed to do that, or and
The
where
is
this sent?
Yeah, do you have the link to the broadcasting? I think that's the easiest if you put that up as well on your screen. You will have it from my technician. He will send it to you right now, so you can go into this one.
Perfect.
Please. Yes, you do. Okay, 2 seconds. We'll do like this. You will get it. Here you are. You will get it in your as an SMS very soon. But before that, I thought that before we go into the commentating of the games, I thought that the reason why I also wanted you to join in is that we actually have a cooperation these days between Offerspill and Uppsala Chess Plus Academy. Uppsala Chess Plus Academy is one of the partners of this tournament. It's mainly run by Uppsala Skolschacksällskap, but Uppsala Chess Plus Academy is a part of that, and we have cooperation. And you are the daily leader of Offerspill. Could you tell me a little bit about Offerspill and this club? And to start with, what is Offerspill?
Well, Offerspill is a chess club. If you translate it, it's something like sacrificial play. It's a chess club that was started by Magnus Carlsen in 2019, and the vision kind of for the chess club is to, well, it's several things, honestly, but one thing is to be more than a chess club and offer better conditions for talents that wants to play chess and get better at chess and be professionals or semi-professionals. So that's one part of the club. Then we also have a broader perspective. At least in Norway, chess has surged quite a bit. Because of Magnus, I mean, you see chess on TV and people playing anywhere online, on the bus and at work and whatnot. So there's a huge demand for playing chess, and we try to have cool activities for the broader audience as well. So trying to get the internet players to become organized chess players, so to speak. And yes, as I mentioned, or you mentioned, we launched something called the Talent Offer, which is the talent program in Offerspill, which basically is a group of talented young players who wants to get better at chess and have a lot of talent. So currently we are having several sessions with some very nice trainers, and you as a coordinator, and so far it's been going quite well.
Yes, I agree. For me, I must say this is a really, really nice initiative that you have, and you contacted me and asked me to try to be part of this and cooperate and build up the structure. And so far we have had one live session in Oslo. We have 20 talents, and one idea we have is that we want talents from the Nordic country to join in. So we have the greatest talents of Sweden, from Norway, from Iceland, from Faroe Islands, from Denmark, and from Finland that we bring in. But also some other strong players from Europe actually that wanted to join in, that asked for it, you know. So we have had a session in Oslo, I think it was 1.5 weeks ago, with Boris Gelfand from Israel. That is the famous trainer. Very interesting, and I think it was very developing for the talents that was joining in. But beside that, we also cooperate with Ramesh from India, that was in India too. And he is giving lessons online and sending out exercises and so on. And as you know, Jon Kristian, Ramesh will join me for the second round today and comment on the stuff that we have. So, Jon Kristian, do you have now? I've sent you the link. Did you manage to get it up so you can take a look at the same time? So you see what I see. That is great.
I see what you see.
You see what I see. That's nice. Because also in this tournament, of course, as this is a talent tournament, we have some of these players that is participating in our cooperation. And that's why I thought also it would be very interesting for you to join in. So let's take a look at this here. We have, and I will now take a look here to see. Here we have, for example, if I go here, we have on the top board, we have Vignir Vatnar Stefansson from Iceland. That is one of our members playing against Francesco Sonis. These are not Norwegian guys, because I guess you are most familiar with the Norwegian guys. But But I guess you have heard of him and met him maybe sometimes, you Christian, or?
Yeah, I have. I know of Sonis, Francesco as well. We had him in one of our tournaments that we hosted in an Offerspill 2 years ago, I believe. Elham,
because you also, just to go back to that, Jon Kristian, in Offerspill, you say this was about the talent program that we have talent offer, but also we have you do a lot of tournaments, you do a lot of events and stuff like that, and so you have had actually some really nice tournaments under your regime, I guess.
Yeah, we have hosted several international tournaments. For example, Norway Chess Open is one of those that we have hosted twice in Stavanger in Norway. We had two tournaments, Offerspill Invitational in Oslo, which was very nice during the pandemic. It was a bit hard to host tournaments at that point, but we managed it in some way. So we do some streaming, we do tournaments, several things.
That's great. So, okay, what is your impression of Vignir Vatnar Stefansson? Do you have any ideas on him or his play?
No, I do not. But
not really.
I like his
not
position.
So far. Yes. So far, it's been quite interesting. Yeah, because first of all, also, Jon Kristian, I mean, even though now you're the daily leader and we talk about the organizing and so on, you're also a very strong chess player. I don't know how much you play these days, but you know, I know you since you were a kid, because we were training together when you were younger. But you were really strong and just under the elite of the Norwegian top players. So. Yes. Okay. So you like his position. What if we take a look at this? What is your judgment? What do you see when you see this position?
This position is very interesting, I think. So White is trying to break through on the queen side, whereas black is trying to hold the ground and black really wants to play f5 and try and break through on the king side, I believe. I'm not sure who's actually favored here. It seems that white has some more terrain, some more space, but black has the bishop pair. So I think this is going to be quite concrete quite soon, because what do white want to do? Maybe white want to play a4, b5, or even more directly b5 immediately. Maybe wants to play the rook to c1 or b1. Yeah, I'm not so sure how to evaluate this, to be honest.
You saw that f5 just came here, you know. No, what I saw here that I thought was interesting is that we have a position where it's a little bit unusual to have a bishop on d7 and so on. Normally you have a knight instead, you know, that is ready to defend on the queen side. So it's a little bit different from the normal structure. And also now with f5, you know, black has just given white this good structure with a3, b4, c5, d5, and so on. So it's like black, a little bit of a waiting strategy for black. And my question is if it was really correct by white to let f5 come, because somehow I like now that black will get some, you know, some attack with take on e4 or go back with a knight and so on. And if you can undermine this position of the white center, you know, the bishop pair might be strong. So I think it's very, very interesting battle that we have to see here.
Yeah,
one
agreed.
of the ideas I had, I don't know if you looked at this, but that was just when f5, that was the first thing that came to mind. So I thought about, is this possible? But then maybe you have like, maybe you have something like, I don't know, bishop, maybe this move even, you know, kind of strange tactical. So I don't know.
The screen that I see is a little bit delayed compared to your commenting, but yes, 95 exactly. Yeah, I was wondering if that was possible. I don't have too much faith in it, to be honest, but maybe.
No. Yeah, I just looked at knight take e5, bishop b5,
yeah,
and now maybe queen b3. But it seems like, you know, I'm not sure that this knight is so good. Maybe, you know, there are possibilities to play f4 or something like that. And then at the right moment, you take the knight d6 and it doesn't do so much. So I think this is not so favorable. But that was one of the questions I had. So I go back to the position queen c4 and f5. So after f5, how should white react if you do not play? There is also the move c6 here. That could be a possibility for white. That is more I like this more actually. c6 I like more. And the question is how black should react to that. I think that is the best move actually. It feels like this is correct because you cannot take it because d take it's a check and the pawn the bishop is hanging.
But what about b5?
Yeah, probably b5, and then I guess you do queen. Should it be on b3 or e2 or d3? There, I think all possibilities are there.
Yeah.
But okay, let's say queen e2, something like that, and probably have to take on e4, I guess.
Do I have to?
No, you don't have to. You can wait as well, maybe.
Yeah. Do I
but
need
in this
to
position,
wait?
I think white's idea. This bishop is hanging, so you need either you go back to c8 or something like that.
Bishop take on e4. Maybe. Take on e4 is fine.
Okay, take on e4, then maybe knight d2, like this.
Yeah.
And then is it bishop f5 maybe? I don't know. Which color do you prefer here? What do you think?
I think actually black, even though I think white is better, but I like to play black's position more, I think.
Uh-huh. Because also
But
because
instead
white's
of,
idea is, yep, please. Yeah.
yeah, let me think here. Okay, we have some options because, okay, let us not take on e4. It seems a bit, I want to play, yeah, okay, so b5, queen e2. Let me try bishop e8. Is that a move?
Mm-hmm. Then probably I take on f5.
Yeah, maybe
And
that's a
then if you take
problem.
with a rook, I thought I'd play knight d2 like this. That was my idea, you know.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's still because white has got a very simple idea, and that's to play a4 at the right moment and go for the a6 pawn. Huh? So
Yeah.
black really needs to be fast and try to get some counterplay here, because otherwise you're simply lost, I think, on the queen side. So, but okay, let's go to another game. We will follow this, of course. We have after f5. We are waiting to see if I believe c6 is the right to play, because if you go back with the bishop, you take on b7, you simply have a good structure. So I believe that will happen. But let's go, because what I want you to tell me a little bit about, we had Simon here 2 days ago, telling a little bit about the great Norwegian generation, and we have some of them here today. Not the least, we have this guy, Elam Abdrolf. He's playing black against Felix Blueberger. I don't know if you saw the game yesterday, but we had a clash between I called it the Battle of Norway, between Tor Fredrik Kaase. Elam was white against Tor Fredrik Kaase, and my feeling was that Elam was playing really, really well, really, really good, and he won a great game. So he seems to be dangerous. Can you tell me a little bit about Elham from your point of view? He's not in your club, I know that. Tor Fredrik is, so you will soon tell me a little bit about him. But what is your thoughts about Elham?
From what I can tell, he's a extremely good tactical player. So anything, if you give him dynamic positions, he will have great chances of winning. I tend to be kind of a tactical player myself, but when I play him in blitz, I'm just getting completely crushed. I have no chance whatsoever. So it's actually a bit frustrating for me. But no, he's really strong. I think he may lack some positional play, so he tends to try and exploit these type of openings where you get very, very sharp tactical play. Whereas Tor Fredrik Kaase is another type of player. He's more he's trying to play proper chess, correct chess, if you will, not just playing to win, but playing the correct move. So a bit of a clash there. I hear, but I definitely think that Elam is gonna become a grandmaster. I think maybe Tor Fredrik as well. But Elam is certainly getting there very soon. I think.
Yeah. I think he's just crawled over to 5 also, and he's playing a lot. And Simon said that he felt that his weakness earlier on has been his openings, but right now he's doing proper work on trying to fix that. So it might not even be that it is a weakness anymore. And actually, this is the position. You can see that, I guess. He's playing the Grandmaster Felix Blueberger, and he's black. And we just take the final position. What do you say about this? Elam has sacrificed a pawn, but the white king is stuck in the center on e1. What is your feeling here?
So it seems to me, as you mentioned, black is down a pawn. sacrificed it, I believe. But white cannot castle and won't be able to castle for a long time. If white really wants to castle, he has to play like knight e5, d3 maybe. But that will give back the pawn, or at least one pawn. So I don't think that should be white's approach. That being said, I think maybe I have to think.
Yeah, but
this is a bit
okay.
tricky.
You don't have to feel that you need to do, to say a evaluation immediately.
Yeah.
It's just like
I'm just talking. I'm just thinking out loud
while you talk. But for me, feeling from what you said, that means that this position would suit Elham perfectly. Sacrificing a pawn, the king will be stuck in the center. There will be a lot of tactical motives, I guess, in the following 10-15 moves against the white king as a compensation. I just see, like right now, queen b5 is about to come. You take the c line, and if the queen moves, sometimes you can even make a push with the d pawn to open up new lines. And I think this is really, really dangerous position for white, actually. I don't know what you say.
Well, I thought initially that white was doing okay. Maybe white could play like, I don't know, just play king d2, rook c2, rook c1 and be okay. But I realized that maybe there's a rook coming in e4 and suddenly there's trouble here. Yeah.
But actually it's black to play. What does white do on this move? Queen b5. How do you react to that?
Queen d2 probably.
It's the only move, huh?
Yeah.
What about if you then just go for the to go for this?
Rook c8, I guess knight d4.
Aha, you have, okay, you protect actually. I see, okay. Because if you play, okay. I see. Maybe it was not that dangerous then, but I thought it was really, really dangerous. Still this. You said this, this, and this, like that. But what about queen c4 here? Threatening this, threatening here. I think this is really, really. Everything can just fall apart if you do not watch out here.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind as mentioned, so I'm waiting for this and this to happen. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's see. We go back. We had queen d4. This is on the board, and the question is now how to continue. It could also be that you just should play rook a c8 in this position. So okay, let's play this move, rook a c8. Now I guess queen d2, or what can you do? Queen d2.
Yeah, what can we do?
But this again, this queen b5. Now you threaten even to play queen a5 check and maybe just take the pawn. I think, I mean, from my point of view, it might be that white is already lost. Actually.
Really?
I think this looks really, really dangerous. I don't know. White has got no play. Fantastic bishop on a6, and I cannot say that you can release the tension so easily with white.
Can you show me this game from start? Just rush through it so I can see what what kind of opening this was. I guess it's on kind of d4, but
yeah, I show you. I can show you from here, I believe, because we had one very interesting moment. I'll see if you can tell me when you have a position with a rook on c1, queen on c2, put pressure on c5. You can tell me when you have that on your screen.
Yes.
Because here we have a very interesting position. I analyzed here. Because black needs to make a choice. Either you have a little bit of a grim defense if you play like c6 or something like that, you know, because then you have problems in developing your pieces, and white will be slightly better always. Or you can do as Alan did. He played with knight to a6, e3, and then c5, like this. And for me, not the least, what you tell me about Elham being this tactical player. So he, you know, I think this was the obvious choice to go for. Take on c5, and now I believe that I said to the audience that I was sure that the best move was bishop e2, and then try to play against the hanging pawns on c5 and d5. That was the choice I would go for. But Felix, he would like to, and I don't know. It's there are some, of course, complications after bishop e2. Maybe you can try to go for d4 or something like that. But Felix wanted to play tougher than that, so he took on a6 in this position.
That's greedy approach.
That's greedy and dangerous, I would say. I would never play this actually myself, because I think this is really dangerous. He took on c5, and now good move, queen b7, and we have the position on the board like this, queen d4. So yeah, I would be, and now. Is this played? No, this is not played. I'm sorry. This is the position we are waiting for to see the move by Elam in this position. And I guess that you can play queen b5, you can play, and maybe even rook c8. It's very simple and strong move. I think he will have a hard time here, Felix. This was a bit of a strange
rook c8 seems really natural, and yeah, just I mean the rooks aren't doing anything currently, so why not play them to good files, their open file, I guess.
Yeah. But okay, let's go to another game. Let's go to this game with Tor Fredrik Carlsen then, and you can tell me a little bit about him, please.
Yes. Yeah, he's a talented player from the north of Norway, Tromsø, I believe. And he is taking a 3 year currently to play and improve his chess. He's struggling a little bit to get more rating than he has right now. I think he has been even higher. I'm not sure what his peak is exactly, but as I mentioned, he's at least trying to play play proper chess, which is something I gave up on 20 years ago, I believe. But let's see. Looks to me like
what is interesting. I think about Tor Fredrik, I must say that, you know, it's also he you know, when I meet him, and also with Elam, by the way, you know, this complete love of the game. It's striking when you talk to them, and when you give them at least Tor Fredrik, when you give him the chance to train and so on. He's so ambitious. So it's for me as a trainer, it's a dream to have him on, you know, because he just wants to have more and more training and do stuff. And you also know that he is one of these players that we really try to support with talent offer. It's exactly that type we want to have. Those who are ready to invest the time that you need to put in if you want to take the next step. So yeah, that's great. But okay, I just tell you, we had a very strange position here, because in this position, I said when we left the game, I was very worried, because here I think he made a big mistake to Fredrik, and he was also thinking a lot, because in this position, the problem for black is that you were to put the bishop on c8. So after knight to b4, I would play queen b1, just to make sure that this bishop come out. But he played queen b3, and now I got really worried, because now after bishop f5, Tor Fredrik thought for a long time, and as you can see, bishop c2 is really dangerous to come, you know.
Yeah.
How to cope with that. So I said that probably queen d1 is the best move, but Tor Fredrik had to play knight e1.
That's an ugly move to make, but
yeah. And now I believe that you should play something, maybe Queen D7 or something. I would be afraid of Queen D7 in this position, you know, threatening to take on H3 and so on. So I believe that this is dangerous for him now. But this didn't happen, and that was a bit of a surprise. He went back to C6 in this position. Knight E1, Knight C6, then Knight F3 came. And now, of course, you can play Knight B4, and probably Knight E1 will come. And you also Knight A5, it's of course, you know. But he played Queen D7, and that was very strange to me, at least, you know, this part of the game, because I think Black has got a good position if you play, you know, like I said, Queen D7 in the situation with the Knight on B4. But okay, so but still, after Queen D7, dangerous position. Bishop take H3 maybe. Give me what do you think when you see this?
Yeah, I think actually Black is doing very well here. I'm not too sure what happens after Bishop H3, but it seems really dangerous actually. Because of the bishop on d6 and knight g4 coming, lots of tactical stuff going on there. There's also, I mean, take on h3, h, queen h3, then you're threatening knight d4. So a lot of stuff going on there. Also, Black can choose if he wants to just to take the bishop here with knight a5. So I'm a bit worried here for Fredrik, to be honest.
Yes.
I am not sure how to continue here. Like Bishop B5, for example, trying to do something, but then maybe Bishop H3. I mean, you have to calculate this every time. GH, Queen H3.
Because now you threatens to play knight take d4, so maybe you need to take on c6 here. You know.
Yeah, take the knight off. Maybe you're okay.
Then maybe this is strong. You know, this position here. Oof. I think this is very, very dangerous position. Oh my God. I would be worried, at least, if I would. I think this is the type of position you would like to play, I guess. You know?
Yes, yes.
So
I mean, this is at least a draw. I mean,
yeah. So another possibility is, of course, to play maybe something like Rook E1. But then I suddenly also realize another thing is the question: what do you do? Is Knight A5 a threat here as well?
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, you have Queen B5, I think.
But I mean, even that position to play Knight A5 and then take on C4, you will have a strategic advantage, you know, with the two pair of bishops and this bishop left, you know. So even that might be a simple solution if you want to have a strategic game. But of course, now you want to go for the attack if you can. So, okay, what about, okay, I get a suggestion actually from the computer here, so I must admit that I'm cheating a little bit, to suggest Knight E5.
Knight E5, eh?
Yeah, and I guess that the idea is this, and then I guess you need to take on B7 like this.
I see.
And the idea is that to get back the queen to F3, I guess, you know.
Yeah, that's not a bad solution to this, but a bit tricky to find.
Yep. There's also, of course, yeah, I know that. Also, of course, if you take there are the possibilities to take like this, and then with the knight, because then you cannot take on B7 because the bishop is hanging. But now at least so maybe this is stronger, but at least now you have, you know, you have the pair of bishops You have some counterplay maybe as well, you know. So I think this he would be very, very happy with if you can get this, you know, sacrifice a pawn and you get activity instead and some, you know. I don't know
that's
to
not too
play
bad.
like. I mean, for example, even this position might be okay, you know, and you get some kind of counterplay with rook d6 or something like that. Maybe black is still better, but at least now you are having some possibilities with bishop e5 or something like that. So I don't know. So maybe actually he played knight e5 in the game.
Okay, that's good.
Impressive. Yeah, this is also, I think that is typical also. When we had this training session with Boris Gelfand, we were talking about these critical moments that you always have in your games. And I think that was the main topic. And not the least for Tor Frederick, we were speaking about when to keep calm and when to take action. And I believe that he has made the right choice here to take action and try to do something to change the rhythm of the game and try to change the, you know, what is happening and the course, you know. So I like knight e5. I think that's a good way. Also because that put Arvin into a difficult position where he needs to find another way forward.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have some hope for Tor Frederick after this, I guess.
We do.
I
mean, I'm looking at the time here because Chipotle has half an hour versus 1 hour. Well, what's the time control in this? Is it 90 plus 30 or?
It's 90 minutes plus 30 seconds and no extra time ever. So that's
so the classic Fischer time then.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
So okay, so the other Norwegian players that are taking part is, for example, we have Sondre Mela. Do you know him?
A little bit.
Yeah, but because he's not part of Offerspill, if I remember correctly. Huh?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, and then we'll see if there were these. David Nesse is another one participating, Norwegian guy.
Yep.
That I don't know so much about, I must admit.
I think he's attending one of the chess schools in Norway. I'm not sure which one, or if it is NTG. We have two of those. Like we have NTG, and we also have Grenland, I believe.
And he's one of those participating there. And yeah, I see. And so because in Norway there is one is with the brothers Lie, Kjetil. Kjetil Lie is the most famous one, and his brother Espen that is running this, and that is in what is the name of it? Mark. Suddenly I lost the word for this area, but it's a bit outside Oslo, because in Oslo we have NTG with Siemens. So they have two actually colleges for chess. So you have come a little bit further on than Sweden, even though Sweden started, from what I have understood, a new college with the same idea last year. So this autumn it was started, but I don't know so much about it. Okay, so which game should we go for? I actually had one game that would be interesting, because we also have this game between Axel Falkevall and Edwin Trost that we are following. And Edwin is one of those that is taking part in Talent Offer as well, as the Swedish representative, as one of the most talented guys. And we have this position. What do you say on this one, Jon Kristian?
Okay,
It's a
so
little
we
bit
have
unfair. I must say it's a little bit unfair. I know that because I've been following the games, and I just throw you in, and I want your judgment. So don't feel too challenged by that.
no, that's
okay.
fine. I can take
That's
it.
fine. You can take it. Yes, that's good.
Obviously, we have a King's Indian here. I've never really played the King's Indian because I've never, I don't know, had the time to learn the theory or anything. But seems to me that Black is doing very well here. White has not come very far with the advancement on the queen side and is now moving the king maybe towards the center or towards the queen side in order to not get checkmated. But can't Black just play g4 and be happy?
That was played g4.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's a delay for you, but yeah,
little
that's
bit.
correct. The thing is that what is a bit unusual, just like you said, is that normally white is going for the push c5 and try to open up on the queen side. But in that sense, king f2 and trying to run away makes sense because he has not yet played c5. So he can try to swap, to put his king on the queen side and then go for an attack on the black king instead,
Well,
so that
seems to me that it's very difficult for white to launch an attack on the king side, even though the king side will get opened up. It's very difficult for white to put the pieces over to the king side because of this pawn chain that is kind of blocking everything. So I feel like Black is doing very, very well here.
Actually, I realized that there might be more danger for white than I thought. Because if you take here, there might be the trick knight take on g4. Because if you take like this, there is a quite dangerous check on h4.
Yes.
And if you do king e2, the idea is bishop take g4. And, even though this will be probably could be very dangerous, but I'm not sure. I just say that this is a possibility, but I don't know how good it is. Okay, let's see. Okay, maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm just, let's see here. I guess they are calculating, or that Axel is calculating this right now. Queen h4. How is this? How is this position?
I think it's good for Black.
Okay, what should you do? King h2 or king g3? Let's play this move. Because king f2, you go. I think you just go with bishop f6. Huh?
Yes.
At least it looks dangerous. That's what I can say. But I don't know. The white piece is not doing anything. You can maybe you can even play slowly here. With bishop h4, bishop g3, a4, h3, or something like that.
Yeah.
So because this might be crucial. And I don't know this. Maybe you need to go something like this. Then you will have at least some compensation, I guess, with Black here. Okay, rook g1 is threatening. So okay, it's not clear that this is working perfectly, because if white can, if it's forced to take on f3, then white maybe just winning because of the bishop here. But this is, of course, at least in this position after g4, this is something that white really need to take in thinking about, because if you need to play something like this, then I guess Black simply takes the pawn now. Or
I guess you're right. I mean, that's one possibility, but I mean, after h g4, why not take back with the h pawn also? I mean,
Like this.
yeah.
And now for sure you do not want to take on g4, so... But okay, let's say that white now, according to my idea, is trying to play something like this. How is this position then? In a way, I think that if this works for white, it can be interesting, because now it's difficult for black to continue, and you haven't weakened yourself with c5. So in that sense, I think it's interesting. I really like. I don't know how much you know about Edvin. You know a little bit about, because you met him when we were in Oslo with having this training camp with Boris Gelfand. But I don't know if you know anything about Axel. But he is really one of the most talented young Swedish players also that we have had great, and we have great hope for to develop. So he's very talented as well. So yeah. But okay, what do you say? What do you think?
Yeah, I want to play like queen e8, queen g6, but I realize maybe knight b5 is an issue. So maybe just, I don't know. It seems to me that we have quite good time with black, so let's play a6 first and then queen e8 to do g6.
So in this position, a6 instead.
Yeah.
Okay. Should I move my king one step here to e2, or what should I do?
Yeah, where do you want to go with the king? I mean, you can try and double the rooks with like rook h4 maybe. But I'm just gonna do the same thing with queen e8 and queen g6 and claim that this is not an issue. But I don't know. I would rather be I would rather be black than white here. I think. I think I lost you. Is that? Are you saying anything? Yeah, the stream can't hear you either. I'm just gonna do a quick run to get myself a cup of coffee, but be right back. Are we back? I can.
And we come here. Okay, and we had, I'm not sure this was the correct position right now. Actually, this is the position. And he played knight d7 indeed. He didn't play g3, but he played knight to d7. Okay, so what about this move?
I am looking at the starting soon screen right now. Is that correct?
Can you, okay. Can you, okay, I'm sorry. This is the wrong screen. I have this one. Can you see that? 2 seconds, Jon Kristian. I just check with my technician if he can arrange this for us.
Yep.
2 seconds.
Yes, seems to be working.
Okay, so we'll see how this goes now. Okay, so we are back. I'm sorry for that. So we had this. Can you see the position now, Jon Kristian?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's good. I take this down and I have this. We had knight d7.
Very strange move.
Yeah, yes, it was in a way. But the idea is, of course, to go for knight to c5. Huh?
Yes.
But it's a bit strange because you want to have it on h5, you know, or maybe on g5 or something. So that was a surprise. Okay, the first move to look at, I guess, is to take this simply, you know, like this. Because, I mean, you actually have your queen ready to go to h3.
Oh,
so what?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe, you know, I don't know. Okay, maybe you can play, can you play like this, queen g5? And if you play like this, maybe you can play knight f6 back.
That seems like a good solution.
That could be, you know, and then you're ready. Because if you take on g4, actually black is almost winning, I guess, you know, strategically, because you have a weak g pawn and so. So you really need to calculate that. But take here, queen g5. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I must, you know, this is a strange, very strange position because, you know, yeah, maybe this should be okay for, I don't know if you should go for rook ag1, but okay, if we play something solid instead here, if it's possible with white, what should that be? Should that be rook h5 maybe?
I was thinking b4. I don't know if that's solid, but
I thought about a5 in this position after b4, a5,
yeah, then a3.
A3. Okay. But okay,
Maybe
to
black
take,
can just take and play queen h4 in the end there. Yeah.
but okay, don't. This is dangerous. Look at this. This is really dangerous, I think.
So fg4, right?
So fg4, I think that is the correct. It must be the correct move, and that is, of course, this is a difficult move to play, to take on g4, I guess. You know, like this.
Yeah, very difficult. Very
Because,
committal as well.
So maybe this was a smart move to play. Knight to d7. Queen g5, queen a3, knight f6. Yeah, this. I think that maybe knight to d7. That's a clever move, and we'll see. Okay, let's go back and see some of the top games. We had this position between Wigner Wattner Stefansson and Francesco Zonis. And the question was, what is the position like? Because it seemed to be a little bit chaos in the position, because we had different elements, and I think we had this position, queen c4, f5. I don't know, you tell me, Jon Kristian, when you have it on your board. And okay, here I was sure that the best move was c6, but he didn't play that.
No.
He did not play that.
What did he play?
And we had this position, you know, you remember c6, b5,
yes.
queen e2, and so on. So, but he took on f5. This looks strange to me. I think c6 is obvious move, but okay, he took. Bishop took.
Yeah.
And now he casts alongside. That was a big surprise for me.
Oh, wow.
You know, first you start to push your c-pawn forward to open up the queen side, and then suddenly you make a long castle. What is a bit worrying for me is that white has used 30 minutes or 1 hour, and Francesco only 40 minutes. That means that he's quite ahead in time, Francesco as well. And I think that the table has turned. Now I believe that black must be okay. That's my feeling, because I don't like this king here.
Well, that's the Alpha Zero king, you know.
The Alpha Zero king. Okay, maybe it's because I'm old and only, you know, classical player, but I would.
Yeah. Do you know about this? So the Alpha Zero,
no, tell me.
Yeah. So Alpha Zero really likes to have air around the king, space in front of the king. So they doesn't like the traditional setup where you have the king hidden behind solid pawns, but rather this kind of open king that we see right here.
Where do you, is this something, who has identified that? Is it you, or I guess there is some kind of a book on this or something like that? Where did you find out about this, Jon Kristian?
Oh geez, where did I find out about this? Might be Magnus actually who told me about this.
Okay. Because you are not only the daily leader of Magnus Carlsen's club, you're also a good friend of him, I know. So you are looking at chess sometimes together as well, but you also, you know, have continuously conversations on chess. And you know, you could tell us that we actually had a meeting with Magnus when we were in Oslo. He was preparing a lot for the Fischer Random. You know, he was very into that. Maybe do you remember do you remember some of the talks about that as well? Because
yes,
almost.
I mean, he had studied quite a bit of Fischer Random position the last days, like various types of positions where you have, for example, knights in the middle, knights on the flanks. The same with bishops and a bit of different setups there, trying to find some some insights. I mean, obviously he didn't succeed in his in his effort to win the world champion title there, but I don't think it was due to his preparations, but rather some strange mistakes that he made underway. But he has been a very big voice for having longer tournaments or longer time controls in Fisher Random because it's so complex. You need to think from move one, and I think he would really enjoy having playing classical time controls with Fisher Random.
Yeah, what I thought about, because when we were having this discussion with Magnus, was also that the idea behind Fisher Random is to outrule this with the opening theory.
Yes.
But what we were speaking with Magnus about was actually opening theory. So the thing is, it felt like this is just a question of time, that soon there will be opening theory on all these type of different setups that are possible when it comes to Fisher Random, at least if it becomes more popular, and more played, I guess.
Well, I think we need to distinguish between opening theory and opening themes or like concepts, because he was looking at concepts rather than actual theory. I mean, it would be very hard to create. I mean, there was a guy who wrote me a couple of years ago, want us to make an opening book for Chess 960. But I mean, if you can even manage to create theory in only 3 pages for one position, you still have a book of 3,000 pages, and well, that's going to be quite tough, I believe. But creating a book with like principles, like what difference it makes if the knights are on the edges compared to in the middle, I think that's more that could be something, surely.
Very good point. I totally agree. Very well said. Okay, so thank you for that, sharing that. But let's get back to the game. We had this position, castling. So would you say that you believe that this is a artificial intelligence position where castling alongside might be very strong, or what is your feeling about the position?
Well, the long castle seems really counterintuitive. I have to admit, because it seems that this king is really weak, but I'm not so sure that it actually is, because how do black attack this king? I mean, it's really hard to attack it, I think. I might think white is doing fine here. White has some tactical stuff going on here, maybe with knight e5, as we mentioned before. Right now, it might be really strong, actually. So black needs to be a bit careful. It's hard for me to say how black should continue here.
He played king h8, actually, just like
correct.
your remark, to get out of this knight. Because the idea, just to show to the audience, the idea was to take here on e5 and then push with d6 check and opening up, and white might be very strong in the position. So he played king h8 to outrule this knight take e5.
Yeah, so let's say white plays knight d2.
I guess knight f6.
Yes, then we have gotten our king in safety, so we play g4.
I have one other idea here as well. It's also, you said knight d2, because isn't there one, if you play isn't there a threat of b5 here? Or should you play the other possibility I saw was a5.
Yeah, if you play a5, then maybe b5.
This, and now you can think about taking on c5.
Yes.
What's that like? Is there anything? We're just, yeah. You want me to make him bigger? Like that? Okay, thank you. So, good. But he's not seen now on the screen.
He's seen as long as it's not minimized.
Nope. It's not seen now. I cannot see him. 2 seconds, Jon Kristian. We just try to solve here.
Yeah.
2 seconds. So that's what I'm sorry. It was this technical stuff that I do put my technician into complicated positions because I put some button sometimes and I do not really understand what I'm doing, and then you disappear or I disappear or that something is happening. I'm sorry, I'm not so skilled as those commentators doing this every week. I'm just an amateur when it comes to this sometimes. Okay, let's go and take a look at this position again. We had like that. No, that is not what I'm going to do. So I'll do it like that. So that's what I'm going to do. So you said you thought b5, and this position you believe in this is strong. And if you take on c5 like this, I mean, I guess bishop takes c5, huh? Like this?
I guess. I mean, in my crazy mind, I'm looking at stuff like b6, but probably it's just stupid. So probably take back on c5.
And personally, I would play probably something like this. And we have this type of position. Because now I want to play, my idea was to play b6 and force you to take on d6 to get a rook to c8. But no, I think you have a point here, and this is interesting because this is, I would be very worried, but I agree when you say this, that maybe it's not so bad after all. He played king b2 in this position.
Yeah,
king
also
b2.
a move.
Yeah, and also from our discussions, quite logical, because what you do is that you take it away from the open C file that might be open in the case of, you know, A5 and B5 and so on, like we had on the, and also you keep an eye on the A3 pawn in that variations. So
yes, and
okay.
also worth noticing, maybe white is okay with opening the A file. So let's say black plays A5. Now white goes knight d2, and you claim that it's okay to open up the A file.
So you mean knight to e4, or what did you say?
Okay, so after king d2, then A5, knight d2, a b4, a b4.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. This is AlphaZero or artificial intelligence play, because I do not really understand this. From all that I give to my students, I say, try to keep it closed in front of your king. When it's attack on different sides, do not push your pawns on that side and so on. And here suddenly we have another type of play. Okay. Well, let's take a look, because it became very interesting in this position, because instead of A5, like you suggested or we looked at, he played another interesting move that I think is having a bit of a plan as well. He played this move, bishop to g6.
Bishop g6.
And what came to mind to me was, is there a possibility? First of all, I think you open up for the rook. You take away the possibility to play g4, but I wonder if there is also could be like queen d7 and queen f5 at some points.
Oh.
I mean, for me, this is the type of moves that grandmasters play. I think always when I have played some players that are a bit better than me when I was playing, and not the least these grandmasters, what they did was to make these small moves that just kept up the pressure on you, make it even more difficult to find out, preparing for ideas, and I didn't understand what was about to come, really, I think this is an impressive, I don't say it's the best move, but I think it's an impressive move in that sense,
Yeah. This is a bit difficult. I mean, I really want to play knight d2, f3, and knight e4, trying to plug this white
Yeah.
diagonal or trying to take control
Yeah.
over the white squares. But
Yeah.
then suddenly the black squares are getting a bit weak with something like bishop g5 or knight g5 or yeah,
Or
maybe.
for me, it's this move, knight f6, that is logical. But that's is my first. But I don't know. But I think knight e2. I think it's that for me also. I agree. This must be I think this is the best move as well to go for this. But
Knight f6
what
then f3 or
but do you want to play that really? Then maybe I play even knight h5 at the point.
yeah, I play knight e4.
And then put a
Maybe
knight in f4, maybe. Something like that. Okay, we have an interesting game. There is also, of course, you also have to calculate on this one. Try to open up, and I don't know if you want to take with a pawn, that might be dangerous because of even b5 maybe, or something crazy moves, or if you want to take with the bishop on c5. What do you say? This is really interesting game, I must say. So strange.
It is.
Very, and this is also it's a little, for me at least, as a commentator, it's a little bit of a nightmare, because sometimes you just misunderstand it. It's like when I've been mainly commenting the Swedish Championship for many years. Then we have players like Tiger Hillar Persson. That is, it's hopeless to try to comment on his games because he's so imaginative. And suddenly I just don't understand what he's doing. And then suddenly after 5-6 moves, here is the point, and I totally misjudged the position. So, and this feels like I'm a little bit lost in this type of position. But okay, so would you take with the pawn or with the bishop? Well, I don't know.
Pawn.
With the pawn like this, keep it strong.
Yeah.
And my idea was to play this move here, to play really tough,
b5 or
b5 in this position, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the question is, what is this like?
What is this like? I don't know. I'm not too worried. Let's just play queen b3.
Yeah, and then I would like to play b5 or a5. I mean, on b4, try to do something. But then of course, okay, the question: can you take it? Rook b8 was my idea.
Yeah, a4.
Okay, you cannot take on b5 because then you're hanging on. Sorry, what do you want to play?
I was saying queen b3. Yeah.
Yeah, queen b3. And
a5.
then I play a5.
Yeah. No. So what do you want to do now? Okay, let's play knight e4.
Knight d e4.
Yes.
Yeah. Then my idea was to play b4.
Yes. I will.
For me now, it feels like this is too dangerous to me a bit,
Yeah, maybe it is.
But okay, but I see. I still understand. This is. It can be very, very sharp. It can be. So we have bishop g6.
Knight b5. Okay, let me continue a little bit. Knight b5.
Yeah. Of
Let's
course.
try.
Of course. Let's take a look. b4. Knight b5. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. And if I rook b8, you play simply a4. Huh? So I guess
Yes.
I guess you take on a3 check.
Uh-huh. I want to play d6, right? That's my threat.
Okay, but I think that next move will be take on e4, and then take with the bishop on e4.
Yes. I think I need to move the king to a2 or something.
But don't. I mean, okay. I thought about even in this position, you cannot play d6 because of bishop f7. But I would like to grab this pawn. Okay, and you
Yeah.
wanted to go for this.
No, this is
Yes.
this is too much. This is too much. I'm giving you too
I
much
think
here.
so. I think so. Okay, but let's go back then, because he played rook df1 like this. That was a bit strange move, but obviously he wants to go push f4, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
But now b5 came. That's a tough move. That's a really tough move. I would for sure go for queen b3 in this position. You har it. Yes, just no. I'm sorry. So you have to wait. Check with Jon if it's possible first. Okay, we'll see here later on. In a while, c take b6. C take b6 came.
Mm-hmm.
And rook c1. Okay. It's going, so, okay, this is really, you don't understand the strategic ideas, or at least I think it's more like you say. He is ready to play in an unusual way to have his king on the same side that he's playing, you know. And that's interesting. b5 came, queen e2,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
queen e8, knight d2, queen f7, queen d1, knight f6. We just move on a little bit here. Now you threaten to take on d5. So you had to play queen b3. But isn't it looking quite dangerous now for white? I mean, even rook ac8 and take on c3 or something like that. And if you get
Queen
this pawn
b3.
here, what else?
Why not?
What
why
should
not
we...
knight b3 instead, or something like this?
Yeah, that looks better in a way. If it's not there, if there isn't anything tactical here. Okay, probably rook ac8 again.
And it's crisis if you can. How bad? Yeah, maybe it's really bad if you can give up the exchange to collect on d5.
Yeah, because if these bishops can be directed towards the king on b2, then it's really dangerous, you know. Then you need an artificial intelligence to make your analysis. Okay, rook ac8, f3. Okay, try to find a way to make knight e4, but I guess now, yeah, he took on c3. Okay, that's so logical.
It is.
Take here, rook c1. Oh, but this is this must. I mean, he even what I thought also, isn't it simple just to take here and bishop g5? This was what happened in the game, actually. I mean, if you play this bishop g5, queen, I guess queen e2 or something like that, or and then bring in your queen like this.
Yeah, this is gonna be a win for black.
But still, I at least you have this block here that, okay, then you can take on g6. I'm sorry, you take on c1. Okay, this is terrible, I think.
Yeah, it's really terrible.
So I think that he is really on the verge of getting crushed here, you know. This opening experiment. Okay, and bishop g5, queen e2. I mean, also just to, you know, this position must be very good, you know, for black.
It seemed to be very interesting, this whole idea with the long castle, but I think it took it a bit too far, maybe. So I'm not sure if long castle is bad.
No.
My instinct says it's okay. But yeah, I think he outplayed himself a little bit afterwards.
Maybe it is that type of position where you actually need to be an artificial intelligence to play it the right way, you know. So,
yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But okay, let's go back. And so let's take a look at this LM game, what has happened in this game.
Give it to me.
Yes, I hope you can see it now. We had this position. Please tell me when you have the position.
I have it.
And he played rook AC8 that we discussed, so that was good.
Yep.
White played king D1. Okay. He is fighting well, I believe.
Yeah, that's resourceful.
Yeah. And the idea with this... Okay, there is actually one good thing with this move is that if you remember, we played king to D2, then I played queen B5, and you have the check on A5 to grab the pawn on A2. But if you have this variation, queen B5, rook E1, you do not have the check on A5. So maybe king D1 is a better move than king D2 that I suggested.
Yeah, for sure it is.
Yeah, so his idea is also if you take on C1, king takes, and then go to B1. That might be. He took, check, king B1. And now he played... I'm not sure this was correct, but okay, queen C6. Idea is, of course, to come in here on C2. Oh, yeah, okay.
Deliver a checkmate.
Yep, that's the idea. And now he played A3, check, king A1, and he simply took on F2. Yep. Okay, so, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, black is close to winning, I guess, in this position. You know, with his weaknesses, the bishop against the knight. And black is having a much heavier attack than white, I guess. But okay, now, you know, maybe, you know, if you can trade queens. But what do you think? Do you think this was a correct follow-up for Elam? Did he play? Do you think he had something better, or are you satisfied with this? What he has achieved?
I think he has achieved quite a lot here. Worth mentioning is that taking on G2 is not an option right now, at least, because of rook G1. No, wait. Yes. But what do you do with the white? It's really hard to find moves.
Yeah, in this position, yeah, to take on F2, and then the question is what to do. Yeah.
No, this position is I agree with your evaluation here. It's should be close to winning for black.
Okay, let's say that we just try to bring out our rook like this, rook D1, something like that.
So rook D1, yeah.
But the thing is that you're not so, I mean, to lose these pawns are not so dangerous. Maybe you should just, you know, I don't know, H6 or something, just to save your position. I don't know. Because if you take somewhere on D5 or A7, then this pawn is hanging as well. So.
Yep.
But okay, wait. Maybe. How is this then? I mean, maybe this ending might not be so easy. If the attack stops, you know, it's even though there is bishop against knight, it might be that, well, I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry, I just need to ask you one thing. How long will you stay, Jon Kristian? Are you stay? It's okay for you to continue, or what is your?
Yeah, we can stay a little bit longer. I have to leave in 10 minutes, I believe.
It's okay. It's okay. I remember you said that I didn't want to keep you, you know, if you had to go. That's the point. But okay, then we continue with the game here. Okay, so I said that one move is, and that is actually played in the game, rook D1. So the question is now how black could, because now black needs to find a way to keep up the pressure. I don't want to swap queens here, because if you do, it's like you lose some of your strengths.
Yeah, some of the edge is gone. It's not so easy actually for black. What do we do? What do we do? I really want to make luft for the king, but
yeah. But what is your assessment of this position that I thought on? Queen d2 here.
yeah, so h6, queen d2, right? So
But you
then
need
the queens will be
on this
swapped
position, I
off,
guess.
but rook c2, and maybe black is doing fine.
Ah, I have one possibility here. Maybe it's this move. Because if you get this position, then you have like bishop against the knight in this type of position. You will be clearly better, I think. At least you can, continue to play quite for a long time. And then because my idea was this move in this position, okay, maybe you are threatening. Okay, this must. I thought that was clever, but you cover up e1. I missed this move. Okay, you can go this move maybe, just to force, just to cover up. If I just keep this pawn, I think black will be better, clearly better in this position. So. Okay, so rook d1. So that is why. So the question is, how dangerous is this move, queen d2? So maybe h6 is the best move after all, because I think that this one he will have. I think that he will still have an advantage. If he wins this e3 pawn, if they swap off, then you will have a clear bishop against the knight, and the rook and the queen, rook and the bishop is better normally than the knight and the rook.
Yes.
Or what do you think? So
yeah, can I after queen d2? What about rook c2?
In this position, like this, rook c2. And I take.
I'll take.
On this side, yes. How is this position then? Because I think it's much better to have, for white, to keep these two pawns on e3 and d5. Because with the pawn on e3, you have a strong square for the knight on d4, while this pawn is just away for the bishop, in the way for the bishop on the long diagonal. So I really think that to swap off these two pawns would be in the interest of black.
Okay,
so here I
see.
At least that's my thought, but that's what I thought when I saw this position, but I don't know.
Yeah, you're probably right. No, this is maybe okay for white.
But I think but why not? But I must ask you, what was wrong with this? That we said queen d2, we said h6. What about I don't understand what is wrong with this. Isn't this good enough?
Yeah, it probably is. You're probably right. I was just looking at rook c2 as a variation.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So if this is not working, queen d2, what should white play instead? Maybe this is forced,
Yeah, maybe. Is there some e4?
It looks strange to me. Now you take with the rook, huh?
Yeah.
Give it check, king b1. Okay, you have this move here. This is winning, actually. Then take on b3, yeah. I think, or is it? Yeah. Or is it not? Because if you take on b3, you have actually rook e3, I guess. And rook e4, and it might be perpetual, but maybe this is enough. I don't know. This is really strange play again. But okay, you just move the, yeah. Okay, this is really, really good for black. I think.
Yeah, it probably is good.
You know, actually, look at this. I didn't see this move.
Okay, so let's see. Where are you? After I've seen king b1, bishop d3.
Yeah.
d4, bishop f5.
Bishop f5, knight h4. I didn't see that. That was a little bit of a trick.
Yeah.
Lovely trick. Because you cannot play
nice
bishop
trick.
h7 because it's check on d8.
It is. But what about bishop g6?
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to do that. And it was stupid, but I just saw that I made a mistake. That was lovely, you know, this. Okay, and now you're right. This one, it's good enough. Okay,
yeah.
So yep, we have this. Look what was played by Elam. He played bishop e2 instead of giving
right.
some Okay. Maybe this is okay. Because, you know, rook d2 now. You give it check on f1 and suddenly you have bishop c4. Very dangerous, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So how to react on this move? It is not so... I think it's okay move, actually.
Yeah. Let's see. There's no queen d2 because of queen g2, I suppose.
Let me take a look at this one. Yeah, you take here. What is this like? A knight d4.
Then maybe bishop f1.
Bishop f1. Yeah, I think this is good. This is good for black. So I agree. So there is okay. There is actually the move. One move is this move, e4. What is happening then? Because you cannot still not take on g2 because then you have this rook g1 trick. So probably you have to take on d4. Rook take. But again, now we have this ending here. That will be this will be slightly better for black all the time. So yeah, this is and the only thing that now it's not as good version as the other one. But you know, still after something, I don't know, f6 or h6, maybe h6, I don't know, something like that. You know, still white will have a little bit to prove because, you know, I think that black is a bit better here with a bishop against the knight. But I must say, I think that the other version we looked at was a bit better for white, for black. Yeah. So this was actually played. So okay, take here, take on g2.
What was played? Queen d2 or what?
Queen d2 was played.
Okay. Interesting.
I thought now knight d4.
Do you have other options though? Like knight g1, knight e1, knight h4, any of those were?
But you can always play bishop f1 again, huh?
Not against knight e1 and knight h4.
Aha, no. Okay, I see. Sorry, I thought I only looked at knight to g1. You said knight h4. I think I simply take it, huh? On h2
Maybe, but
or maybe queen. Okay, queen g4 is enough. Threatening the rook on d1 and the knight. And if you play, and I guess the same if you go for knight e1 instead. You know, knight e1, then you have queen g4, you know, and you're simply, yeah, you have a good position. So knight to d4, I think, was played in the game.
Yep.
And now we said bishop to f1. Huh?
Yeah.
I guess this is okay. And now we'll see that we have five. Yeah, this is, but it's simply a pawn up and has got a strong position here. So, or is there any tricks or something? Okay, only possible. Okay, to take on g2, bishop check to g2. I think in this position you need to be fast with your pawn, just to go for b4 and run everything you can, and hope for that the bishop on g2, but due to the pawn on d5, cannot cover up when you have the pawn raise. I would say this is the only chance, you know, you have. I don't say it's because otherwise I think it's just lost, you know. But I don't know.
But b4, then rook c3.
My idea was just to play king b2, take on e3, and then go with the pawn, you know, b5 or something like that. Yeah, that was my idea. I don't say it's
You're
working,
a
but
madman.
yep. I just say it's only chance. I still think that, you know, Elam probably have got great chances to win this position, but I think that was the only chance, because now my idea was that the bishop on g2 is now having problem in coming to the queen side, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, that's
okay.
Interesting.
I think I will be leaving now, but thank you for hosting me, and good luck going forward with the tournament.
Thank you very much, and good luck with everything, Jon Kristian. And I'm looking forward, not the least, when we will have our new camp in Oslo in December, in the beginning of December, with Ramesh from India coming in. He will make a great camp, I guess, with our talents, the Nordic talents. So we'll be happy to see you then. So take care and see you.
You too. All right. Goodbye for now.
So we are back, and we are following the games that are left. We just had Jon Kristian Haarr from Norway, the daily leader of Offerspill, that came in and gave his view not only on the chess positions, but actually also about talent development and what it is like in Norway. So let's see, what have we got now? So we have the different positions. We were looking at this game when I had a break. It was this, bishop f3 came, rook c1. Okay, that was a surprise to me that this came, rook c1. Okay, I just need to take a look. So what we were thinking about was to take on g2, bishop take g2, and then go for b4. I thought that was the best chance. Rook c1. Okay, and now you can take on c1 like this, huh? Queen takes c1, queen takes c1, and cover up here somehow. Play with maybe g6 is a good move to cover up, you know, like this. And okay, there, you know, maybe he will try to get in here to get this pawn on a7 and try to get some counterplay. So, okay, he played rook e8 instead in this moment to go for the e3 pawn. He swapped off, and now he played b4 in this position. Okay, then he outruled this rook c3 that we have in the other variation. g6 came, then rook c3, bishop f1, king b2. Here I like b5 here better. What is this like? I feel this is a bit dangerous actually, but well, okay, this is a good move. Bishop c4, I like this. Okay, this is a good move. So okay, king b2, I like that. King b2, bishop c4, yes, he's trying to block now. a4, of course, he wants to join in with the white idea is to go for b5 and then come up with a king, you know, to a3, b4, c5, and so on. And as you can see, black is a pawn up. He has got the bishop, bishop against the knight. Normally you say that a bishop and a rook is better than a knight and the rook. But in this position, one problem for black is that he doesn't have this long diagonal. That would be, I mean, sometimes it would even be better to have this pawn gone, because you could have your own bishop on d5, because then you have this fantastic bishop covering up the whole chess board. So the problem is actually this pawn here, and b5, king a3, king b4. You also see one difference is that this king on g8 has got problems in supporting this attack that white will do on the queen's side. And these pawns, h7, g6, f7, it will take some time before they reach, you know, across the board to get dangerous. So, okay, a6 came. He wants, of course, to push, to avoid b5, king a3, king a3, and now we had, I think, is this the position now? Bishop, yeah, this is the position, king a3, and we have a position that I cannot really judge right now because I think b5 will be dangerous. And now I have a new guest. So very welcome, and we'll see if we can make this nice here. I need to just to prepare a little bit for you, and we'll see. We have this. It is, I think, is it this scene? And we have it like this. And if I come, no, this way. I'm sorry. And you come closer to me.
Yeah, okay.
That is good. Hello.
Hello.
And who are you?
Yeah, I'm Jakob Pajeken, international master from Germany, and I'm playing in Uppsala here for the first time.
I'm very happy to have you here. And before we start, because this is what I also want to do before I look at your game and so on, is of course to understand a little bit about you and your country. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your chess career?
Yeah, I actually learned chess from my father. He's now FIDE master, but he's quite strong coach, I believe, and had also big success in coaching in Germany. But
So actually, you have already from the very start, you have had the best, one to support you.
Like when I was a little child, I didn't realize that I'm that strong or that I can be that strong. And chess was just fun for me, and like now 4 or 5 years ago, I also realized that I can become, it's really possible to become Grandmaster and even stronger.
And I must ask you, because if you have your father, playing chess himself and being a coach and so on, did you feel, did he push you, or did you have how did it work out?
It's not an easy relationship, I'd say, but of course, many advantages, but also some disadvantages. Yeah, I think what I can say, I love chess, and because without my father, I wouldn't play chess, so I'm quite thankful.
That is great. Now, that sounds great to me, because that is the danger sometimes, that it becomes the father's project and so on, and you do not love it so much. But
clearly my own project.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, so you are international master, and what do you want with your chess? What is your goal?
Yeah, I actually, I don't know, but what is sure for me, I want to become Grandmaster, and I believe that I can also achieve that goal. And, and in this year I also started, very little, but coaching a little bit, and so, it would be nice to have a lifestyle which has something to do with chess. And so just depends how I get the money, but
okay, that small problem of the money problem, we know about that, don't we? Yes. So okay, so what your plan a little bit is, of course, you try to become as good as possible as a player, and then you will follow up with coaching maybe a little bit, if you like that, and so on.
It depends on how strong I get, or how much.
But I think
survive.
because this is for me also with this, and that's what I feel now when chess is spreading in the society. We have new possibilities, because one problem, not the least for Germany and for Sweden and all the Nordic countries, is that if you want to become a chess player, it is a bit dangerous. Because if you do not make it, you don't have something to fall back on. But in day when you have these training abilities, you can have students and so on, maybe you can make your living. So then you're dare to go for it, a little bit in a bit different way, I guess. So I like that. Okay, so so far in the tournament, what do you say about your tournament?
My tournament, I'd say it couldn't be worse so far, because first round I lost terribly against 1900, and second round I won, but third round I also lost very unnecessarily against 2200. So I'm not very happy.
Of course.
And yesterday in the Blitz tournament, I even was leading, like in the leading boards before the last round, and then I also blundered and lost on time. And so, but okay, my game today, it wasn't accurate 100%, but I'm kind of happy that I played it.
So then we take a look at your game, and we go back, and here we have. We'll see. No, we don't. We don't say it that way.
Okay.
No, but okay.
Yeah,
let's. Sorry. Here we have. But actually, today you play quite a decent player, I guess.
That was a bit strange because of the pairings. I
exactly. Exactly. I was also a bit. I saw that because you could see the different pairings, and suddenly, on the lower board, suddenly we had this chance. Do you know Krockenhauser from before? Because
actually, I didn't talk with him about, but I checked it. In 2013, I played under 10 championship in a world championship in Dubai. And I remembered that there was some Austrian guy I kind of played football or something with, but just one day, and Krockenhauser looked similar to him. And now, when I checked his games, I discovered that he played in Dubai, this World Championship, and so I think it's him. But
so probably you have played him before, because I also know that it's quite nice here when you move around. As for me, normally people speak English and so on, but then you are some German-speaking guys here as well. So you have like this little bit of German fraction of the tournament. So I guess you're getting a little bit of friends and so on. These players. Okay, so how do you prepare for a game like this? What is happening
in this case? It was like because I played the Blitz tournament, I just had a few hours to prepare. If I wouldn't play, it would be a bit more. But actually, with white, I always want to get some position like where I have some initiative, and Black has like, okay, it's not many ideas to play active himself, and just to like would white to create some pressure from the beginning. And actually, e4 isn't my main move. I'm also playing d4 and knight f3.
Yeah.
But my opponent is playing Nimzo Indians, and I think against Nimzo Indian it's very difficult to find a line where you can just pressure, and because Nimzo Indian Black always has some ideas. And
So that's why, but today, it seems like also today, you know, when there is so much preparation and so on, you need to be able to have different repertoires
I
and so
think
on.
nowadays it's just important to get a position where you know a position you know better than your opponent. It doesn't depend which position, but just have a position.
So that means that when you prepare, you look through his games, and then you try to find out where do we have like some kind of type middle games or something like that suits you and so on. Yeah.
But of course, I'm not playing everything. I have my repertoire.
Of course. But some specialties and some main lines and so on. But okay, let's say you played white, and we are moving into. I move a bit fast here because we are moving into the Najdorf variation. And what did you choose? Because here is the first choice, huh?
Yeah, I choose bishop e2.
This is like because this is what you say a more slower development. That attack will come later than if you go for some of the pushy bishop g5 and so on. But and the old style, but still it's still alive, this opening.
Bishop e2's, and I believe after e5 there won't be any attacking positions. It would be just some positional play. Knight f3 is possible, and knight b3 is possible, and then can play with bishop e3, bishop g5, many lines possible.
Yes, and we will not say at this time which one you would have chosen, because then you discover for the others maybe, but it's okay. So you he played e6, and then we're moving into some kind of Scheveningen instead. It might be,
Actually, I really like to play. I used to really like to play against Scheveningen, but now when I started playing more e4 again, I discovered that my old analyzers weren't that good anymore, and there are some good lines. One of them is queen to c7, what he just played.
Yep.
And here the old move is one old move is g4, but g4 is just bad because of d5. And because my opponent never played this line. Before I even thought about playing g4, but I'm quite happy that I didn't, because after the game I asked him what he would play after g4, and he knew d5. So.
Okay, I see. Okay, so is your feeling that he is a well-prepared player normally when it comes to opening and so on, or do you try to think about that when you do your preparations as well?
But I discovered every line I prepared for this. He has had very bad score in database, but. Kind of strange and even not against the greatest players. Sometimes he often lost against 2100 while him being 2300.
So it seems like your opening repertoire is not fitting him very well then, I guess. Huh?
But he was playing this and seemed to be quite prepared, but he thought a little bit for queen c7, maybe to provoke g4. Did that, but
I see. Because what you do now is, I would say that the classical way is to play short castle, f4, queen e1, and all this kind of old style. But what you do now is like you are moving into a more active play. You discuss g4, and I can see that you actually played queen d2 in this position.
Yeah, this short castle line, I think, where black is pretty much okay.
I played with black, so I agree. Yes, or I hope so, because I'm not always into the latest fashion.
Yeah, and I still have this mind that Scheveningen is not the best line, and so I want to
kill it,
but it's not possible.
Not easy. Okay, so what do you say about now after queen d2? Because now what you do is that you open up for castling long side or short side.
Yeah, rather for long side, but in the game it's the other way around.
Okay, we'll see what happened. He played b5. I think I would have played that as well.
Yeah, and now I remember that I didn't expect this line with my analysis a long time ago, but I remember that you have to play some a3, f3, g4 idea. And so I kind of blitzed out a3 now. I don't know if it's correct, but
yeah, okay. And bishop b7 and f3. What the first thing when I see this is that now you are heading towards this kind of English setup against the Najdorf as well, but you have the bishop on e2 and you have played a3.
Yeah.
That would be worry me. On the other hand, this is not always the correct setup, you know, for black with the queen on c7 and bishop b7 against that setup, because now, you know, it's heading towards his. And one, I think, after f3, I think one very important trick is that, because sometimes you want to push with d5, I guess you go for, do you go for the e5 line or something like that?
For the e5 line. It also is going to happen in the game.
It's happening. I'm sorry, I didn't realize, because that is one of these ideas that you need to understand.
Actually here I don't understand after e5.
Is it possible? Yeah, is it possible? It was more a question than it was like.
Queen h5 and now some.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that this might be a possibility, but.
And after queen h4, just bishop d3.
Yeah, that was.
Queen is trapped. Okay.
So that was my idea, that maybe it's working even here, you know, this trick, you know, with the e5. But okay. So, but again, I said to our viewers that one of the important things when you learn your openings and so on is, of course, to understand the ideas, the strategic ideas, but also to understand the classical tactical ideas in the position. And this is, I think, is one of the main ones in this one.
Yeah, of course. And then, but it's not a bad, d5 is not a bad move, because after e5, it's going to be some French structure.
Exactly. So what could happen is, so after e5, it might be very dangerous to take it. So then instead something like this, I guess.
Yeah,
and f4 like this, and then maybe something might be 6 or knight c6 or something like that. And
actually, white has made only useful moves, but the only problem is that I needed 2 temples for f4.
Exactly. Personally, I think this is quite good for white.
Yeah.
That is my feeling, but...
On the other hand, queen c7 is kind of a wasted move.
Yeah.
Rather go bishop c5, queen b6 or...
I agree. So, okay, f3 came, and now, interesting move here, I must say, because this is a classical idea again in the London, or this English version of Najdorf, if the black can play h5. It is very committing, but actually this can be a real pain, this move sometimes, because the move you want to play is g4, and this is targeted against that. And if you play f4, then you have this square here as well, you know. So this is a bit annoying, but it is a commitment, and it is dangerous to go for the castle. So, yeah, what do you thought when this came?
Yeah, my opponent actually blitzed it out, this move. He thought some moves earlier, but after the game he told me that he wasn't 100% sure that h5 in this position, but he knew the motive in this line. So I felt like it's a strong idea, because I thought if I will castle long and now play some slow king b1, and I didn't see what my plan will be, because I can never attack. And this knight d7, knight b6, rook c8, and black has just a solid position.
But the first thing comes to mind for me is to castle alongside and then play bishop take b5 and go for that ending.
Yeah, that I also thought this. But
what do you think about that? What were you? Because now it's not easy to find anything against this take on b5 here.
Yeah, but now just knight d7 is the logical.
Okay, let's check this one. I guess you take.
Queen b8.
And take here. And now, okay, well, let's go for this. I just want to show one stuff here, because in this position, quite often this pawn is on a2. And if this would be on a2, normally I think this is quite a good position for white. But here you have maybe knight e5, because then you want to play b3 to get rid of knight c4. And now this is hanging. So that might be one thing to think about. But, you know, also here, rook d4 isn't possible, or knight b5 maybe. For me personally, I've played this many times with white. I think this is I really prefer white. I must say.
I was like 1700. I played once from a Rouser game. Then I lost with white, and I'm kind of, I believe that if you don't have 3 pawns, it's still the position. But if I just play normal, it would be also still a position. And I think this is not my style.
Okay, I see. Because I love this for white, but don't forget, I'm an old player. I don't play so much, so don't but what I've learned, and that's what I thought, is that as long as you keep this pawn structure on the king's side like this, normally this is quite good, this sacrifice. As if you had pushed the pawn on g4, it's something very different, because then you have weaknesses, you know. So here I would really like to play this position. But okay, you had you made another very interesting choice.
Yeah, a4, just because I felt like if I won't do anything, then it will just be a very good shavening or knight of position with this, because I can't attack somehow. And here I think my opponent made a huge time management mistake. I think the only very you have to think about e5, but the only
but b4 is only move, isn't it?
b4 is the only move, and he spent, I don't know, but he spent too much time here.
Okay. And this is of course because we had Judit Polgar joining in this morning, and I asked her to give you advice for this tournament, and she said one thing is that, not the least with this time setup that we use in this tournament, think about, to be pragmatic, or you make moves, you know, do not always try to find the best move, but actually calculate with how much time you have and so on. So okay, b4 came.
b4 is the only move, and now
yeah, I thought
knight a2.
I guess so. And you want, maybe you have this possibility, or you want to break up with c3 or something like that.
Yeah, but I think if he e5 is he won d5, but in the game I was more worried about e5.
Yeah, the question. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. This is a very crucial moment, because, you know, d5 is one way you put to protect on b4. But if e5 works, I'm not sure that this is so good actually. So e5, because this is also the other way. What would happen on this one?
Yeah, at first I wanted to go knight f5, but after knight f5 I thought there's this intermediate move g6.
Yeah.
And now at first I thought bishop g5, but then knight h7 seems to be just winning, and I can't get back to
No, that looks it doesn't look good.
It's bad because
No,
I have to play knight b3.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I go back. So we have this position. Yeah, because from my point of view, this is the only move, and because I thought this was looked good, looked bad.
Now d5, because I feel like if you play a5, you can never play a5 in this position.
No, but this is. I must say, from what I have learned when I play this type of Scheveningen, is that, you know, when you play d5, if white can play e5, this is not a good move to play d5. So you play e5 first and then d5. That's the classical way to do it. But let's take. So what is your idea on this position here? How is this position? Because this is so logical to me, you know.
Yeah, I felt like I have to take on b4 now.
Because if you take here, black will probably have a fantastic position, threatening here and here, protecting this one.
Both knights are very bad place.
Okay, so now, and this is interesting also, because now we are moving into, what do you say, concrete chess, where you need to make this kind of choices and calculate well. And of course now, so your idea was to take like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now
what now?
D takes e4 is the only move.
No, yes, this looks normal. Yeah.
And now I thought like I can castle long, I can castle short, and a5 might be also a move. But a5, I think it's not that good. I think the best one should be long castle.
Yeah, but for me, a5. I guess if you take on f3 and then play knight bd7, isn't that dangerous? Or
yeah, it's dangerous for white. So
yeah, I would say
a5 is just
okay. The only thing is that could be, well, but you can just
you can also take on
g2. Yeah, I thought I had castle alongside already, so this is not working at all.
So
okay, so
long castle, and I'm not sure about this position, but
long castle. But okay, I would have taken here, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, but it feels like
so
because black is underdeveloped, and after e takes, I'm trading a piece.
Actually, I agree. Maybe this is better knight bd7.
And no, I don't know what to think about this position.
No.
Maybe f takes e4, but I wasn't worried about this position. I was only worried if someone will take on f3, and I think on f3 is not taken.
So your judgment of this position is that white is better or okay, or what you be or it's just a structure you would like to play, or what do we say?
Yeah, I think that's like black has to worry here because king is still in the center, and yeah, it feels like if I want to get a draw, I will manage it somehow. If not, then
Okay, I would say, personally, I believe that I would prefer to play back.
yeah.
But like you said, this is also interesting because quite a lot of the preparation, I think, and I think you phrased it very well, is quite a lot about getting a position that you like. That, you know, because this is the mistake that many players do when they prepare. They are only looking for, you know, some kind of good position, and they are playing whatever opening. And then, you know, they get a good position, but they don't understand why. And they just play it for this game and so on. But we actually need to think about the next move coming and so on. And you need to understand what you're doing. So
there are even some lines I don't play, even though the computer says it's a better.
Yeah.
It's a better move because there's some, okay, you have an unpleasant position, but it's computer will hold it, but human can't.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
okay, let's see. D5 came, and from my point of view, it just feels like this is a small mistake. But E5 came.
I was also a bit worried because now knight D7 is coming. I have to play F4, and now immediately
knight C5.
Directly knight C5 and knight E4. This can be a bit unpleasant.
But if you put your bishop on F3.
Yeah, then maybe a A4 pawn is also hanging. This is also a motive. So
this, but I must say this, and you mean even take on B2 and go for C4.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
so
maybe.
Maybe bishop D3 is also a move.
Okay, so in this position,
I wasn't. I think I can just. If I develop, I can just sacrifice on A4.
Okay, let's say this one then maybe.
Yeah, I played this.
Oh, you played. Oh, this was the. Oh, I see. Okay, because now suddenly I realize that it's. I'm not sure this is so great on E4 because when you go back, you threaten this one, and then this can come up. So it's. I'm not sure this is fantastic to put it on E4, but okay, this came, and you played Queen E1. You prefer that one? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like.
Maybe it's even better.
Multifunctional move. Sometimes queen goes to the king side. I prepare for rook d1 and pawn on b4 is still hanging.
So just to go back, because one of the things that I normally, when I work with my students and also some of the players over here, I always ask them, can you identify the moment where you went out of theory, when you start to think about yourself, because that is also the best way to actually do training your openings is to always follow that up, so what would you say, just if we
after definitely after h5.
H5, that was the point, and then you started to think of yourself. And interestingly, again, also you had then different choices of some sharper lines, some long castling, or like this with A4, and normally my feeling is that it is as this situation, these critical moments where you see if the player, if they understand what they're doing, so well done. Okay, Queen E1, and now this is hanging, I guess, but what should he play? Knight C6?
I think knight C6, it looks a bit dangerous for white, but I think it's simply not working because I take on C6, queen takes C6,
let's take.
and I simply take on B4, and now you have this bishop B4, queen B4, D4 line, but just bishop takes D4, and you don't have any attack on G2.
So in this position, I mean,
this feels for me. This feels lost for black.
Okay, so you have to go back, and then you simply have. But for me, then maybe you have a good position here because for me, what I try to do is always to look at the normal move. Because if you want to protect this one, I mean, you don't want to play A5. Then you have fantastic squares for white, So you don't want to do that. But what are the options? What would you say?
My opponent played a quite interesting, and I think it's also objectively just a good move, G5.
G5? I didn't even look at that.
Yeah.
This looks, to my eye, very, very dangerous. But okay, he wants to get some kind of compensation for the bad pawn on B4. He wants to create something. But for me, it looks really dangerous.
Yeah, because in this moment my pieces are a little bit uncoordinated because my queen is on E1 and it can also look strange that the knight on A2 is not the best guy, I'd say. So,
okay, we take it.
Yeah, take it. I was wasn't quite sure about queen e5.
Or at least this is the something I would test, you know, for sure, you know, but I cannot say. And my idea was to take here, but is that possible? But
You always have to, now you have to worry about your setup with these bishops on the e file.
I know that, but I'm sorry. Okay, let's take a look. That was just my first thought, was this move here. And I don't know, is there any tactics? I just need to understand what is happening here.
Yeah, it seems to be just a good position for white, but
because one trick is, of course, if you play bishop d6, you have knight f3, yeah? And you cover up and you're threatening the queen. So, and I cannot say that, you know, and I just felt like, even though in this position, even though you know, move this and take this, I mean, it looks for me just horrible, you know. So
yeah, here maybe I didn't play the best move, maybe.
No, or at least maybe there are many roads to Rome, but in this position, it feels like, you know, I don't know. But now it starts, for me, this really starts to, you know, look really, really dangerous. You know, there might be, the computer finds this move. It's not easy to say, but it's quite nice, you know, and you have like this, and if you take, probably you take here, and yeah, this is simply winning for white, I believe. But okay, this is not easy to spot. You should know that it's typically this kind of tactical solutions that are not so easy. But d5, you chose to play rook d1.
Yeah, I just felt like this kind of structure will maintain the same, but I'm just bringing another piece into the center to like help.
So in that sense, it's logical, but he took on f4.
And now I feel like after bishop a4, there's knight c6, and black it's okay. So I played rook to f4.
Okay, I just need to understand this, because
yeah, now after bishop h6, I wasn't 100% sure about it, but it felt like I can take on e6 now.
Take like this.
Take on e6, and after f takes e6, it should be lost with bishop h5 somehow.
Yeah, this looks good. I like
rook
this.
e4 first.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure about, but
I think brilliant.
But queen takes e5. It's not that easy, and now I think I will go bishop d4 and queen e6. And now...
And this what you were calculating during the game? Yeah.
Rook takes e4. And now after... there's queen takes and pawn takes, but after queen takes, bishop f or d3 seems to be very strong. I trade queens and get the tempo with the rook, and then I have just the ending with a pawn up.
This looks really good. At least you are clearly better in this position, I believe, you know. So, okay, so let's go back. Very interesting. This was interesting. So, rook take f4. But here, what about, I think, because this was also my first move when I saw this, knight d7.
Yeah, I actually didn't even consider knight d7.
Because just like you said, bring out a new piece.
Yeah.
that's in my heart, you know, that you should bring out your pieces, and that if you, and also because I thought it just feels like this is a little bit weak, and if you get your knight to e5, it will be protect the f7 square, you know.
Yeah, it's a very important pawn on e5. Also, if you take it, you don't have to worry anymore.
Exactly.
And now, strangely, maybe long castle is coming, but then it's difficult for white.
Okay, so this is...
I just realized it in the analyze with my opponent afterwards.
Which move did you... Oh, so I'm sorry, this was my mistake. So what did you say? What did you analyze after? Did you look at this knight d7?
No. Yeah, in the
and you looked at it.
Yeah.
And what did you what was your conclusion on this?
Yeah, conclusion is that because I feel like black's pieces are well coordinated but just underdeveloped, and white's pieces are developed but uncoordinated. So and if black manages to castle and develop his pieces, then it's very difficult for white.
Yeah, we have. I get. So I would say that we have a very intense game after this, and interesting.
Maybe even more difficult to play for white. I'd say.
Maybe actually, because it starts to look a little bit strange with your pieces. But okay, so he played in g7.
And now I was...
But I just need to... Okay, so he wants to take on e5 with the bishop. But somehow, for me, it's more logical to develop this knight, you know, than this bishop. Because this is the one that you also, like you said, you have the possibility of castling alongside. And also, like I said, would like to cover up this one. But, okay. And now you even get the chance to take this one, maybe.
Yeah, I actually took this one. Maybe, I don't know remember how many minutes I spent, but maybe a bit too fast. My first candidate move was queen h4.
Oh, you have the knight e6, and you have a take on h5. Is that the truth? Oh, yeah, lovely. Okay.
But what I didn't calculate is that after knight e6, f takes e6.
Because that is the idea now is that you took here.
Here.
He take here and take here. And the idea, and the idea is to take on h5, and you start to give check here, and that was what I saw in a little bit in advance. But okay, so what did you say? So what was your worry here? What should be played instead?
Yeah, actually, I didn't have any worries here because here it felt like bishop g7 was a blunder, and queen b4 and just have just a good position because I saw that bishop e5 won't be working, and queen e5 also obviously isn't, and I'm pawn up right now. So, but this knight c6 is again developing a piece and trading one of my already developed pieces. So
yeah, it's like, and again for me, because what's happening, like for me, you know, I don't play anymore, but I'm working with chess all the time. And what is happening is that I just get the intuition normally is okay. But my calculation ability is going down, you know. So for me, knight c6, develop the pieces. These classical simple rules are, you know, the ones I would look for immediately. So for me, knight c6 is the obvious move to go for. And what is this now? What is
after knight c6?
Do you take with the queen or with the bishop?
I think if you take with the queen, then I maybe manage to.
Is it like something separate?
You need to keep attacking the e5 pawn.
Yeah, so. I see, because here you can even play maybe this move.
Yeah, but I have to...
Yeah, maybe this...
After taking on c2, I can just take
on b7, that's right.
And here I'm just a pawn up. And
yep, this is winning. So he needs to take with the bishop, like this, to be able to go for this one.
And now there's this interesting move, rook takes e4.
Yeah, that is the first move I would look for, again, like this. If I just go for intuition. Like this, but it somehow it feels like you have compensation here, but who am I to know this? So what is happening here?
Yeah, I think bishop b6 is kind of the only move because you need to put on pressure, and otherwise you're just losing the e5 pawn for nothing.
But yeah, I just want to understand. Okay, bishop b6, you say?
And after queen takes e5,
what is happening?
Bishop d4 now, and I can trade the bishop on g7.
Ah, you have this move. I didn't see that. That's the trick. Then I am totally with you, but I didn't see bishop d4. That's typical. So then this is a nice move here, or then rook d6. I see. So he plays this move. Yeah. Okay. Now, who knows what is happening here?
Now I think if I can sacrifice e5 pawn, maybe I can. If I want to free up.
Well, what is it now? Maybe, I mean...
I want to free my queen.
Yeah, because now you have a situation where you have the king is stuck here, and it's not easy to see that it can castle anyway. This rook is underdeveloped. For me, even, I don't know what the computer says, so if it's correct, but I can assure you it's much easier to play white, at least, you know, because, you know, this is here. So from a practical point of view, I think that's brilliant, you know. Okay, he didn't play that. Queen take b4, bishop take e5 came. And now this sacrifice, is it? I just saw this idea immediately to take here on e6. The idea is that, you know, now you want to get this square ready, and you check on h5, and if the rook takes, you have a check with the rook on.
Yeah, I have a check with the rook, but actually after rook takes h5, there's a mate in 3 already with queen f8, and now. The knight on a2 is even useful with knight b4 after rook f7, king c6, you have knight b4.
Oh no, it's a mate even.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it's very beautiful.
I guess you are a little bit satisfied with this game if you compare with the tournament you have had. But so maybe now you have You have had your moment where this tournament changed, because
Yeah,
there are still some games to play to be so lovely. Okay, this was a really nice meet. Just take a look at. We just check. Take on e6. Is there any other possibilities here?
Yeah, the other move you have to look at is queen e7. If you just want to like trade queens and then
now
2 pieces are hanging, but I wanted to go rook e4 now, and it just seems to be winning, because after d takes e4 there's rook d8, and
because I'm so slow, you have to excuse me, but I'm not so fast like you young guys. I just need to, but rook e4 is for sure one of these moves that I would have looked at immediately. I thought about take on e4, d take e4, and bishop c5. Take on e6 and queen take b7.
yeah,
that
but
was the first.
actually you have rook d8 after d takes e4, and it's
even simpler. Okay, fantastic then. Okay, so take here. Now, okay, so.
And now I'm just a piece up, and you can't like take it back, because after f takes I simply take.
And this one you have this check here.
Yeah.
Very simple, and there is nothing. Yeah. Okay, so is this the only other solution? Yeah, well, it seems like it's just simply winning.
After every other queen move, there's also rook e4.
Yeah, exactly.
With the same idea.
Yeah, that's great. You have this, yeah.
So.
Okay, so he took it.
Yeah.
Bishop take h5, and he went here.
Yeah, it's the only move because of the king d8.
Yeah, but when you say only move, you are.
Yeah,
I think you lose your queen. Huh? But okay.
No, I'm not that sure, because now this was the game, and now there's this beautiful queen c4. Queen c4.
Queen c4.
You need to free the d file, because d6 is unprotected. And
I thought this was mate, but this is. Was this the game?
Yes.
Fantastic!
Yeah,
this is a lovely game. I love this. Congratulations! So beautiful. What a beautiful finish. This will be in the books, in the future books. I love this. I didn't. I thought about Queen b5, but I missed this with this. Oh, great!
Yeah, and I'm
such
also
love.
Thankful that my opponents played
c6. Actually, I think this is a good manner.
Yeah.
When you play against someone playing so beautiful. I get really angry when they give up, just the move before,
I feel like it's also some good karma for me, because when I lost in the past, then I always let my opponent.
Oh, that's lovely. That's
I never got that mate back, but now.
But now someone, in the end, you meet someone that will give it back to you. What a lovely finish, Queen c4. So that was the. I mean. You probably win if you take her.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it would be the same after king c8. I'd have to take, and then.
Now we can take a look here. So this is probably more this is probably a better move. Huh? Is that correct?
Yeah, but.
But then you take here.
The position is lost anyway, so you have to take with the bishop.
Like this.
And now I have a queen against rook and knight. And I've even got 2 pawns.
I mean, maybe you can.
And still
can you play this? Yeah. Maybe you can play this. Maybe, I don't know.
And after e6.
Yeah, my idea was like also because you have check if you or my idea was actually I tried to be as beautiful as you with this kind of game, but
but knight d7.
I saw that, but I just tried to find something that could compete with your lovely ending, So that's great.
I saw knight d6 very early, and I just thought that okay. If I win the queen, it has to be winning.
Yeah.
But I even didn't at first when I played knight d6, I didn't see the mate in 3 of the rook take h5. And I thought I will play rook f8 then and just take the queen. Then after king c6, it's the same thing with queen c4. But
yes,
I believe that even after king c8, it also should be winning.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And the other line is king d8 here. It's also an important line. And now rook f8, rook f8, queen f8, and king d7, bishop e8, king c8, and bishop c6.
Give me a chance to take a look here. Okay.
Bishop c6, and after queen d8, you take on.
Oh, look at this. Okay, this, and then swap, and take on a8, and you're winning. Lovely. Are you seem to be a tactical player. You seem to have
kind of when I work with a coach, he also my main repertoire was e4, e5, and he told me, "Oh, why are you playing e5 with black? Definitely does not fit your style."
And that was not your father?
It was not my father.
Ah, so your father have gotten you into e5, but you needed a new coach to support you with it.
I'm playing since like I'm 4 years old. I'm playing e5. So
I see. Okay, so yeah, well, that's nice. Okay.
And now I'm also playing d4 with white, but kind of when I'm playing it also some attacking style. You can also play it with d4, but maybe e4 fits my style better. I don't know. I've played 2 white games in this tournament, twice e4, and I won twice.
The only way to know is to try out, you know, and you check and you feel if you feel like you're at home in the positions, and not the least to check your results. Sometimes, you know, you have some, because I had that sometimes, you know, I remember some openings I just loved. The problem was that I always lost with it. Then in the end I realized maybe I shouldn't play that, you know, line anymore, you know, so that can also be the trick. So I must say that it was great to have this. We'll see. I don't know if you want to see what we have. We had this game. This was just a crushing game, you know. This he played bishop. Oh, well, okay, we leave this because this was actually bishop g5, completely crushed.
Maybe if there's still a game.
But we had this. This was very interesting because Alan was close to winning, we believe, you know, in this type of position. But suddenly, White had got a great idea here. Probably you can take on c1 and, you know, save your king. And I think Black will have a good chance to win. But what happened here is that we have a very interesting position: bishop and a rook against knight and rook. 1 extra pawn for Black, and normally this should be winning. But the problem is that this pawn is almost in the way.
Yeah, and
so
I think it's also about the passed pawn. White will
exactly. So the problem is that, and this king is far away. So what happened was this: he was fighting so well here, I think, you know. So you could see that he came up, and now he has compensation for sure here, you know. And now, yeah, rook went down. And here it was a draw, and I think that it seems to be correct.
Yeah.
Because now you have compensation, and I wouldn't say. Maybe it's even easier to play white in a way, because you have this passed pawn. But of course, this bishop is good, and so on. But very, very exciting. Also because of the opening, I just want to show you we had this very strategic moment of this opening. That I think was so. I was very impressed by Alam's choice here, because actually already in this moment, because White is trying to put pressure on the c file, and you have like a grim defense with c6, but the logical way to play is c5, and if you want to, you know, and this was the position. Sacrifice.
When I looked at it in the tournament hall, I feel very dangerous for White.
I think actually that it's very close to losing, actually, because
I'm curious what the opening line was.
Yeah, we can see here. We can take it from the beginning. And knight take d5.
Yeah.
And then we had like this, the more solid choice. Knight f3, b6, take, and rook c1. That was the way it went. So, again, if Black plays c6, then White really has got an edge, because then you have problems with developing your pieces. It will take some time. White will have easy development. So, very good choice by Elam, I think. So, let's see what we have got here. Okay, Galperin won against Hampus Sørensen. So, but that was not the game. And we have that is not the game. Okay, to Frederick won in the end. I was very worried. He had a strange position. He had to go down to e1 here. That was very strange. But then I don't think that Arvin made the right choice here. He could have had a draw with knight b4 if he would like, I guess. But that was a really good move. Only move, I think, in this position. I was impressed by that, because but you know, in this position, I think that the best move is something like c6 or something like that, and I think that Black has got a very easy game.
a6 to play b5.
Exactly, a6, b5.
Still have knight c6 square.
I agree. That is also might be even stronger. I agree. But this is now probably the best is to go back. You can also take the bishop, and I think black is a little bit better. But now black wants to take on h3. Very, very dangerous. So this is the only choice. But on the other hand, it is strong, because now you get a strong and quick development. So you really turn the table, and this is something I really recommend to you, that if you have this kind of trend that you get more and more pushed and so on, by sacrificing a pawn like to Fredrik did in this game, suddenly you will have a chance to switch on to another type of game.
Yeah, it's kind of active defense, you could say.
What happened here?
Yeah, when I saw this position on the board, I was worried about white's position, actually. So.
Yeah, well, I didn't say that, but take on f6 and you have bishop d5. So is that really dangerous?
Yeah, but you have queen g4 first.
Of course, queen g4 must come and bishop d5, okay. And now, maybe you have a draw here, taking here. Huh? That's really interesting move, I like that. What is happening?
No, you can't go to the e-file because you just...
And now it will be a perpetual.
Yeah, because of the king f1, knight h2, king e1.
Exactly, a rook. Too dangerous, yeah. But let's see. But in a way, I admire Arvin here, because there are several times he could have a draw by going back bishop, knight b4. But he really wants to win, and I applaud that. But of course, you need to choose your moments.
Yeah.
That is the difficulty, because now.
Oh, knight f3 is interesting.
He played that.
Okay, after bishop f3.
He took here.
Draw, but yeah, because after bishop f3, it's just a draw with queen f3.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. This is still very interesting. So I must say, take, check, here, rook. Oh my God, the queen is coming to d4 as well. But you hardly have any pieces left.
Yeah.
Oh God, my God, was that correct? Do you have anything else? Huh? Queen f4, queen
it feels
c2.
like the king will just hide on b.
Yeah, exactly, because the one problem here is that you do not have any good checks on f5 or knight here, because when the king is on c2, you can sacrifice back, and you will probably just have a winning position, with the queen on d3.
Of the position of the knight, you could even say that white is 2 pieces up.
Exactly. Okay, so what happened was queen f5 here. Okay, check on.
Okay, check on g1 seems to be.
And rook g2 maybe.
No, just rook d1. Then if you go king c1 later, you don't.
I see. Okay, so it was check rook a d1 and king comes down. I see. Okay, that's the idea. But queen c4. What is the position like now? No. Remember. I need to understand. These are strange positions. Oh, okay. I still think that white is simply winning here, actually, because you can play. His idea is to play bishop e4, go down with the king. Even though you lose some pawns, these two pieces here against this king with the trashed pawns here should, give you good chances. Okay, king h8. He took to Fredrik. What is this? Why do you grab that pawn? Isn't there a possibility to make any more safe moves than that?
You maybe just prophylactical one king c1.
Yeah, this is more logical to me. For example, this I really like. I totally agree with you. And then if it's taken here, you go something like that.
Can you even try to trade queens somehow?
You mean this?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Queen d4.
Yeah, this is good enough. This is good enough. Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's go here. Like this. b5. Okay. He tries to do something, but a3. Okay.
Wouldn't it be right time to maybe bring the knight? What about knight f1 earlier?
In this position, is that better?
Yeah. I just think it feels like I have to bring the knight back.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Because a3 is not also defending against b4, but also giving.
I must say, in this position, you feel that this is wrong to take here.
Yeah.
You know, again, I don't, because I don't calculate anymore. That I stopped doing. So I just go on my feelings, but that can be dangerous. But
it's the same situation we have here. It's the same situation I would have with my father. Maybe that I would play such a move like Queen C7. He would never play Queen C7 because
no, exactly. This is the routine you have when you play. You know, but maybe okay.
Maybe not Queen C7, but type of.
But here, Knight F1, I think, and probably B5 A3 is to. I think it's good for. It's a little bit better for white because then
you can hide on A2.
Okay, so B in that sense, it would have been better probably. Okay, Knight F1, King B1. Yes, because if the pawn would have been to A2, then you could have given a check, for example, and the king must go back.
But now Knight E3 is no mate threat anymore.
Exactly.
Because of the Knight E3, you can now you have, I believe you have just King A2 maybe, and this should be winning. Okay, you also have Rook C1, but maybe just King A2.
Probably this is the best move, but I agree. This one, yeah, this is. Because with this, you know, and I cannot say that you have. Can you play this move?
But maybe Queen A5 is possible, or even.
Okay, maybe this one.
Yeah,
or even
this one.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I give up. We have this. What happened? No, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. But this was happened. King B1, A5. He took. Okay. Knight E3.
Yeah, no, same idea.
Same idea, but he just lost one more pawn. So. Okay, one more. He's cool guy. That is correct play, I think. You know, bishop. You know, we take with the pawn. Okay, this tries to do something. Rook C1. Okay. Trading. Yeah. Okay. So this is game over. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but very, very intense game this as well. That was nice. So here we have Khan winning. Okay, he's strong. We have.
Actually, this is the.
No, I know it's a wrong. It's a wrong.
It's my game from yesterday's Blitz tournament.
But I think the position is correct. If that the result is correct, I think, you know. I just think it's here, and Mitusov won against Joar Östlund. To Fredrik won. We have Gerperin, he won. This is the wrong position, but I know the result is correct. I saw the game. And we have, let's see here. So, okay, they are playing still. And this is interesting. Ludwig is black, I see. Okay, but then the question is if there is any checks. Is it a draw?
Yeah, after Queen D4, the only...
Move is King H6, huh?
No, Rook F6 is possible, but then you have to be careful to not lose, yes.
And the check? What do you do?
Yeah, it's just King G8, Queen F6, and black is losing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you need to play. Okay, so then it's a draw. In that, I can say that for me, Ludwig is a very talented guy, and putting all his effort into chess as well. But sometimes he's playing too fast. You know, making this kind of little bit of a simple mistakes because he's just moving too fast. Let's see, I just want to see how much time he has. Okay, he's. Okay, so come on, let's go for a check here, please. And you will probably make... No, this cannot... No, this is not the position. Okay, this is 3 times, so it's a draw already. Okay, so that's a draw. And we have Axel Falkevad. He won against Edwin. This was also an amazing game.
Oh, strange position.
It was so strange game. But very well done by Axel Falkevad, and I'm sorry for Edwin. He has not been his best so far in this tournament. He's a very, very promising guy. Is there still
another ongoing game? Or
no, I think everything is closed. Okay. So, final question: who will win the tournament?
Actually, I didn't see the players who are up there now because I'm.
You're following yourself.
A little bit lower.
Okay. Cool. Thank you very much for joining in, and we will start again 16:15. We will start, and then I will have Elisabeth Petz with me commentating for the first 45 minutes, and then Ramesh will come in at 5 o'clock. At least they were promised that, so I hope they will turn up. See you later. Bye.
Bye.